Instagram and Twitter, Snapchat vanished today. What else would you have?
I met you how long ago? 2 years ago, right?
We met in 2016.
2016.
Yes, like around I want to say late, September, October.
That's right. You were filming your show, right? And you
Yes.
you came
Yes,
to the
I
office
was. Yep.
and you used it as your California-based tattoo parlor.
Yes.
And it's amazing because you were talking about wanting to expand and be out in California,
Mm-hmm.
and you made it happen.
Yeah. Around that time, I think I was pretty fresh in LA, had just moved here, but we kind of rushed into filming season 3 of the show, and they were like, all right, you're in LA, where are you tattooing? We have to set this up. We have to kind of stage this. So they were kind of trying to rush and, what's the word? Pretend like I'm doing everything that I'm doing, actually really doing now back then. So it took a couple years, but everything kind of came to fruition. Thanks for letting me use your spot, by the way.
Thanks for the art that I got. So you've been an artist for how long?
This June makes 10 years. I've been tattooing for 10 years.
10 years. And, how does somebody even become a tattoo artist?
Well, the formal way to do it, you're supposed to go into a professional shop and get a formal apprenticeship, learn by a professional. That wasn't how I learned. I was actually at school at University of Missouri studying math. I was going to be a high school math teacher. And in my free time...
You were going to be a math teacher?
I was going to be a math teacher.
And all those pictures I see on Instagram with you in your bathing suit and looking all that...
that probably wouldn't be happening right now.
I could not concentrate on math if you were my math teacher.
I would probably be married, have some babies, might not even have Instagram if I was a math teacher. So... I had all kinds of free time during summer school. I was down there for my scholarship program, so I had a ton of free time. And I ordered up a tattoo kit. And, when you go to college, you kind of get to reinvent yourself. So I was from Chicago, but I was in Missouri. So I had already been introducing myself I'm a tattoo artist. I tattoo in Chicago. I'm just here to study math. So people already thought that I was a tattoo artist. So I ordered up a kit, and I just started tattooing people in my dorm room.
So the first time you ever tattooed anything was in your dorm room?
Yes, it was.
And how did you get somebody to believe in you? Did you have to get drunk with them or what?
No, everybody was smoking weed back then. So we probably all high, but everybody was pumped up, they couldn't wait for my kit to get there. And then once it finally came, the guy that I was going to tattoo, he had a super, super jacked up tattoo. And I was like, I'm just going to fix it, can't get any worse, so you might as well. So I'm like, go to the store, give me some paper towels, give me some razors. I'm like, just give me all this and I'll do it for free. And I told him, look, I never did this before, before I actually started. He's like, all right, well, fuck it, I'm here now. So, that was my first experience.
And where's this guy now? Has he ever posted the first tattoo? I mean, that's pretty big.
We're still Facebook friends. I haven't seen anything from him lately, but I'm sure he's probably I was the first person that she ever tattooed. So his name was Brandon.
We need to get that. We need to go on Facebook and get that first tattoo.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not hard to find.
It's funny. I'm gonna locate that guy and I'm gonna send you that as artwork. I'm gonna send it to your studio. We're gonna put it on the wall.
Please, that's vintage Kat Tat.
That's amazing. So you've been out here for 2 years now.
3 years.
3 years.
This August makes 3 years.
3 years. And I saw you pull up in a brand new Mercedes. Yes. I remember when you pulled up, you had a Mustang. I think it was a convertible, right?
No, it wasn't a convertible. It was a black coupe.
Oh, black coupe.
Yeah, my first car.
Life has changed because you've had multiple cars now being out in Cali.
This is my second car. I crashed my Mustang.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah. I had to bounce back.
Yeah, but you're not bouncing back, the other direction. You're
going
up. So here it is, 3 years into it, you have your first off, you're Korean and black, right?
Yeah, I'm black, Korean, and white.
And we just finished up Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And I just read an article saying that you're the first black female to ever open a tattoo shop in Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And being highly successful, doing lots of different events, having numerous amounts of celebrities and famous tattoo artists around the world coming to your shop.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for coming on, being on our show. This is amazing that we even have somebody like you. And first off, I'm lucky enough to call you a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've supported me from day one, literally. So it's dope that, you've got to just kind of rock with me like through my whole journey.
So you're on a show called Black Ink Chicago. You obviously grew up in Chicago, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was that like?
I was on Black Ink Chicago. Yeah, I grew up in Chicago. I was actually born in Minnesota, but I moved to Chicago when I was like a baby, like less than 1 year old. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Chicago just made me, I got all brothers. I've always been like a tomboy. My mom was a artist and businesswoman. My father was a businessman. They were always advocates of education. And I've always been into art. So art was always like my easy A, like since a young age. Like I just always possessed that talent. I got it from my mom. She used to draw pictures of us all the time. And then when I was 16, one of my drawings won first place in a art competition. I didn't even know my art teacher had submitted it, but I won first place in Illinois, and I got this full expense paid trip to Orlando to compete with like 3,000 other students from across the country. And that was the first time that art showed me that, it could really take me somewhere, literally. So from there, around the age of 16, 17, that's when everybody's interested in getting their first tattoos. And everybody knows that I'm the artsy girl with my big portfolio walking around the halls. So people were coming to me, like paying me to draw their tattoos. So I'm like, all right. So then I got my first tattoo when I was 17 and I drew it. And the artist was like, yo, you drew this? Like maybe you should get into it. And I'm like, you're right. So from there, I just told everybody like, I'm about to start doing tattoos. And that was towards the end of high school. And then when I got to college was when I finally ordered the kit because I was 18 and I could legally do it, even though I was still illegally doing it in my dorm room. But yeah.
What did this kit consist of? I mean, it's a tattoo gun. I mean, obviously I've seen things change quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And so like you ordered it online, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get this amazing kit. Was it everything you expected or was it different?
I didn't know how to set up the machine too much, but it was a $99 kit. It came with the machines, the power supply, the ink, everything you need to do a tattoo for $99. And yeah, I just
it said good luck.
Yeah. I started it. That first tattoo I was telling you about, my machine went out like halfway through, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna figure this out and we're gonna resume this later. So then during break between summer school and the real semester, I went back home to Chicago. And I linked up with all the street artists because any shop that I walked into, I would bring my kit like, yo, I'm trying to tattoo these people in my dorm and my machine broke. And they're looking at me like, are you fucking crazy? Like, do you want to go to jail? What do you mean? And I'm like, whatever. I'll find out somehow. So when I went back to Chicago, I got a hold of like all the street artists, like all the artists that were tattooing out the cribs, out the garages. And I would just pull up on them and be like, yo, teach me how to tattoo. And they were eager to teach me, So then from there, by the time the real semester started, I was the tattoo girl on campus. Like I was tattooing all the athletes, all the Kappas, all the Alphas, everybody on campus was coming to get a tattoo from me. That's how I got my Instagram name, Kat Tat Girl, because they're like, is that the Tat Girl? So I was like, let me make my Twitter
funny.
Kat Tat Girl.
Was mom and dad cool with this, knowing that you're the Kat Tat Girl?
They were cool with it because they knew that I was in school. So they're like, all right, study your books and you can do your little tattoo hustle thing on the side. And eventually every break home I was grinding. Like I was making so much money. Most kids in college are broke, but I wasn't. Like I had money. So they're like, all right, she's making money. She's out there taking care of herself. I had a nice apartment. Like I was doing it. So they're like, and she's in school. So we're good. But then by the time it took me 3.5 years to finally drop out. And I knew like I could be a great tattoo artist if I put 100% towards it. So I was miserable down in school. I was staying down there for the wrong reasons, for love, for partying, like just for all the wrong reasons. And I wanted to be at home tattooing. So they knew I was miserable. I was calling, crying.
How many years were you in school?
I was there 3.5.
3.5 years studying math.
I studied math the first like year and a half, and then I switched to computer science, and then I switched majors like 6 times. So I wasn't going to graduate on time. I was down there and I had a scholarship and I kept losing my scholarship, but I would write these letters to get my scholarship back every semester. So I was just wasting everybody's time and money. So,
and did you want to complete school or were you just not passionate like that? You found your real passion and said, hey, I'm
Yeah.
going to do this because this is what I'm passionate about. I know I can make a lot of money. It's
Yep.
proven, the first semester of math, these numbers are not, making sense because being a math professor is not going to make me the kind of money that I could make as if I'm a professional tattoo artist.
Right. Yeah. I knew that I wanted to tattoo. I was literally only staying in school to keep my parents happy, keep my family happy. And because I was in love, like literally. So that had a lot to do with it. I was staying down there just for everybody else and not for me. So my senior year is when I was finally like, all right, I'm miserable. Like, I'm not myself. I feel like a half-assed student. I'm a half-assed tattoo artist. I felt like a bum. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't great at anything, and everybody was getting towards graduating. They're about to, complete their degrees. I was seeing online all these tattoo artists doing amazing things, and I'm just a half-assed student, half-assed tattoo artist. So finally, I called my dad. I was crying, and I was calling him crying like every day. Like, I just hate it here. I hate it here. And finally, he was like, Trina, just come home. Just come home. So once I got the green light from him, I went, got a note from all my teachers that I was leaving. I sold everything in my apartment, and I got on the megabus and brought my ass home. And I promised my family, like, I'm not going to let you down. Like, I'm a hustler. I'm going to get it. And from there, everything just took off.
Thank God for daddy.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that, seeing you online, you're really close with your dad, and your dad supports you pretty much on everything, I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Was he a tough dad growing up?
Oh my gosh, my friends can't believe how close my father and I are now, because growing up, I was always a daddy's girl, but I was always pretend to be this little angel around him because he was so strict. But once I went away to school, I knew my dad was cool because he was married to my mom, and my mom is crazy. So I'm like, I know my dad has a cool side because they used to party together. So once I went off to school, I remember I called my dad, like, one time I was high because I know that, like, everybody smokes. So I called my dad, like, yeah, daddy, I smoke weed. Like, I just told my dad who I was. Like, I'm tattooing.
How old you were there? You were like 18?
I was 18.
18, you told your dad you were high?
Yeah.
You got some balls.
Yeah. Yep. But from there, my dad just got to see more of the real me.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let's go back to that. Bring it back. You told your dad you were high, and your dad's super strict, and he was like, yeah, we're cool.
Well, one thing my dad always told me growing up, he says, I'm not your friend. I'm your daddy. I'll be your friend when you're grown. And he meant that because, like, as soon as I got grown, like, I don't know, he just got to see the real me, and he opened up more about the real him. And, like, my dad's like my best friend now. He knows all my secrets. There's nothing I can't call him and tell him. Same with my mom. Like, my parents are literally like my best friends. So their support with me being a tattoo artist meant everything. I mean, my dad would never, ever, ever get a tattoo. Like, growing up, he would have killed me if I got a tattoo. He got one for his 50th birthday to support. My mom got one, my cousins, my brothers, we all have the family first tattoo. So my support system has, like, everything to do with where I'm at right now.
So your family's proud of you. And that means the world, obviously.
Yeah.
That's amazing because that's, not a lot of people have that happy ending like you.
Thank you.
And, I just read recently, I think it was actually on your publicist's post that you just hit a million followers.
Yes.
So those are a million supporters that really love what you do.
Yeah.
So.
And, it's crazy because walking away from the show, like, I thought my following was going to stop, like, capped there, like, what bigger platform than a national TV show. But I had like 500,000 when I quit. And, like, my numbers just started growing after that. Like, once I walked away to do my own thing, literally everything just started, like, that's how you know you're making the right decision. Like, when you make a decision and positive things start happening.
They were still saying positive stuff even after you left. I remember seeing articles and saying they were supporting your tattoo parlor that you opened up.
Yeah, yep. I got a tremendous amount of support. I was surprised. I was really, really surprised. So, right.
So you got back from college. Now you're back in your hometown, Chicago.
At my dad's house.
At your dad's house. You started looking for a job. You're 18 years old, I'm assuming still?
I was 18 years old, and I started working at the shop right in the hood called Victory Tattoo, right in Harvey. And it was literally right, I could walk there from my dad's house. So I just came home, and I just started grinding, and my work started getting better. I was finally in a shop, even though it was, in the hood, I was in a professional tattoo shop, and I was making money. So I was staying at home, and then I was making enough money, and I was like, I want to buy my car. My dad's always like, okay, make sure you can afford, your next move. So I was like, I want to buy a car. I went and bought my first car, my Mustang. I could pay for it. And then I was like, okay, I want an apartment. I moved into, after the car, after I bought my Mustang, that is when 9 Mag came around. So when I was at school, watching all these tattoo artists in Chicago killing it, it was Ryan, Van, Four, Jet, all the artists individually doing their own thing separately in Chicago. So when I came home, I was now one of those artists who was also doing my thing separately. So then we came together and opened 9 Mag. And
9 Mag is what?
9 Mag is a tattoo shop in Chicago. It was Ryan's shop. And
is that on the VH1 show?
This is on Black in Chicago.
Got it.
So Ryan called all of the artists, because everybody would put us all against each other. Like, don't go to Ryan, go to Kat. Don't go to Kat, go to Van. Don't go to Van, go to Four. And we were all doing our thing. So it's like, all right, why don't we kill the competition, come together, and bring the city together? So September is when 9 Mag opened. We all met up at Hooters for a meeting to say, like, okay, we're going to do this. We're all in.
Do you remember that moment?
I remember that moment. I remember what I had on. I remember we all put up in our black cars. I had my black Mustang. They had their Range Rovers, their Benzes. I was like, baby girl, And then September we opened, and we were like a family. Like, we were all in there just grinding together, and we got so close. Like, we all got super, super close. And then a year later, I guess they were looking to do a spinoff of the original Black Ink crew. And so they were, trying to put a cast together. And someone told them, like, you guys should check out 9 Mag. So they stumbled upon us, and they came in town and filmed us for 2 days for a pod. We didn't know what it was. We thought it was for a show called Street Ink on CMT. Like, we had no idea. But they came in town. They filmed us for 2 days in our natural element. And like 6 months later, we got a call. We thought it was over. We didn't hear from them for like 6 months. We just got back to tattooing. Like 6 months later, they call, you guys got a green light. Congratulations. We're like, what? We were going crazy. It was amazing. And yeah.
So what's the point when you knew you became validated?
Okay, so remember when I told you I went into the shop with my broken machines and stuff? I was just going into like regular shops, just trying to like learn, like, can you teach me how to set this up? And they weren't taking me seriously. They're like, you're what? You're studying math. You're here studying math, but you're in this tattoo shop. Why are you trying to be a tattoo artist if you're studying math? And I'm like, okay. The traditional shops a lot of them were assholes, So then I have to thank social media a lot, because that's how I discovered a lot of people who were killing it on their own. I was just uploading my work and my progression onto my Facebook page. And that's how I discovered the other artists in Chicago. So I had actually, when I was in school, I would call, like, I don't know, but by the time we opened, I had already built the name for myself. Like, I already had my own following. I already had my own clientele. My portfolio spoke for itself. So people saw that my work was good, and that my work was good enough to get me in the doors to the shops that I worked at. And then from there, it's like, I never felt like an underdog, because I was going just as hard as all the guys. I had just as many clients. I was making just as much money. My work was just as good, if not better. So my confidence, the tattoo industry can make you feel like just quit. You're not good enough, but you just have to keep working and, let your work speak for itself. I think your work validates you. So
what is your actual work? What's your signature? What are you known for?
My work, I guess what I'm known for is like just a lot of detail. I try to be a well-rounded artist, but my favorite thing is black and gray realism. So like anything realistic, like that microphone, like I can see all the detail in that, and I would try to get something like that as realistic as possible. So I guess that's like my signature.
And you do a lot of really like nice gray shadings I've seen.
Oh, thank you.
But you also have done, and I think these are cycles, but a lot of the Roman tattoos I've seen you do.
Yeah. If you notice, like a lot of those statues and everything, they just have a lot of shadows and all like the drapery and everything. So stuff like that catches my eye. And I know that it will make a great tattoo just because of all the different values in it.
Have you ever done your own tattoo? I mean, I've met some doctors that have done, facelifts, which is crazy, but
yeah.
Have you taken the needle to your skin?
Yeah, it was actually like one of the first episodes of Black in Chicago where the producers I had started this tattoo of my own, and they were like, can you finish that? And I was like, I had all these cameras, but I'm like, all right, fuck it. I poured up a little Jameson. Am I not supposed to be cursing?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Just keep it real.
We were brand new to filming, and I don't know. I was super nervous. I had all these cameras. So I just did this big tattoo on my leg. Like it's this big burlesque girl. And I was just chilling, just tattooing it. And
That was a lot
I
of Jameson.
thinking, no, it wasn't. It was just a little, just to take the edge off, and that self-inflicted pain. And that ended up being like my biggest moment on all 3 seasons of the show. I think people still are like, girl, when you tattooed yourself, that moment validated me right there. Because people still to this day are like, she's the truth. Anybody that can tattoo herself upside down and it looked that good, that tattoo that I did on myself, I would say validated me to the public.
No client coming in. So, hey, bring the cameras. Don't worry, let me take a swig of this and let me go to town. 5 hours later, 6 hours later, whatever it took. Mm-hmm. You're a real G.
Thank you.
So being a woman in the tattoo industry, is that, a positive thing, where you get more clients, or could that be a negative thing since it's mostly male dominated?
I think it was male dominated in the past. Now I know so many women that are killing it. But one thing that I can say is like just trying to be accepted in the tattoo industry. I felt like, and I'm me, like I'm an outgoing personality. I like to take cute pictures. Like I'm so much more too than a tattoo artist, but I felt like I had to kind of dim down my feminism and my sexuality and all that.
Since when?
Well, like back then, like I would only post pictures of tattoos. I felt like I had to, hide my face. Just if this is my page, people are going to come here and they're not going to see anything but tattoos. Like I was trying so hard to be accepted and to be taken seriously.
Keep
like
it corporate?
Yeah, because if I posted like a selfie or something, people were like, oh, she's just another pretty girl trying to say she does tattoos. And that wasn't the case. I knew I could be great. So for a long time, I was just dimming down my own light just to try to be accepted in this community. Only post tattoos, and that's fine. But I'm so grateful for the platform and for people to have now like a reality TV platform where people get to see me and my work. And now I can I'm not only a tattoo artist, I'm a personality. So it's.
Would you have ever thought you have been there? You're a huge personality. You got a great, persona about yourself. You have an amazing business. Like, what is that? What did TV do for your business?
It did everything. Like it did everything. I always knew, just to go back to the whole woman thing. Like I want to, cause I know that there's other women out there who are struggling and, might be just going through. I just want to show that like you can do it all. Like you can, still be you. You can, what am I trying to say?
Tell me.
Like basically, I never, in the tattoo industry, I don't feel any lesser because I'm a woman. Like I feel like if anything, it's an advantage. You know what I mean? Like, but my work, if you focus on your work and get your work great, then, that's all that matters. I feel like I just rambled, but yeah.
Well, you're a true artist, so you're passionate about it, and that's why you left, your college is because you followed your dreams. So if anybody was out there wanting to know, anything about you, is that you follow your dreams, you follow your passion,
right?
And that's who you are. And that's why you're here, successful today. Mm-hmm. And the TV and everything else was just showing, what it is to be you.
Right.
The show happened in 2015 or 16?
We aired October 26, 2015.
2015.
Changed my life.
So VH1 greenlit 8-10 episodes, and here you are in Chicago. You're filming probably weekly here.
Yeah. What
was that experience like?
Well, first of all, it was unbelievable. Like even the whole time that we were filming the season, I was like, this isn't about to air. Like this is cool, but this isn't whatever. It didn't hit me until I saw our first commercial, like on VH1. I'm like, oh my gosh. But the experience was a huge blessing for me because I know with a lot of shows, like they'll pull you from your natural element and put you in a situation, they'll cast you. And with our show, there was no casting. There was just this production crew who came and filmed our lives. So I was like, this is God-given. Like, and I'm just going to be me. Forget these cameras. I'm going to take whatever comes with it because when it's time for me to tattoo on camera, I'm going to kill it. So I told myself, like, if you're going to do it, you're going to sign this paper, you have to be transparent. I wasn't going to hide anything. I was going to be me. I was going to give, it my all. And Yeah, it was just like a big roller coaster.
I've seen some crazy scenes. I don't really watch a lot of TV, but they really focus on you. You are definitely the star, in every element, even when you're not paying attention, they're still filming you from afar.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously Black Ink Chicago, I heard it was #1 for a long period of time. It had...
Until I left. No, I'm just playing. Just kidding.
But it had a lot of drama. I mean, was that good or was that bad? Was it real?
Yeah, you know what? Anything that I've been through in my life, no matter how terrible or ashamed or crazy, right? I could always call my mom and tell her, and there's not one thing that I've told her that she hadn't done already or 10 times worse. And for me, being a young girl, young woman, having that woman to talk to that's been through it and come out so strong, like that is always been inspiring to me. So for me on TV, now I feel like I'm that woman that I don't care. People could talk trash all day in the comments, but people are still watching. Young girls are watching. Millions of people are watching. So I'm like, I'm going to live my truth regardless of what comes with it, because not everybody has the opportunity to put their dirty laundry on TV. But I know that there's so many people who are going through situations who might not have anybody to talk to about it or to see get through it. So with all the drama, like, oh my God, looking back on it, like I've fought on TV, I've cried like a baby on TV, but I can sit back and watch and say, that's me. That's what I was going through at the time, and I'm not there anymore. So with the drama, I was cool with it. I'm like, I'm not going to fake anything. I'm not going to do a fake storyline because they'll try to put you in anything. Like, oh, say you slept with this girl. Like, no, that didn't happen. But if I did this, I did it. And this
Wait a minute. I think I saw a scene with you and another girl or something.
Yeah, we like kissed at a party.
But
like
they made
girls.
a big emphasis on it, and that's one
Oh,
of the
they tried
highlights.
to make it more. They tried to be like, yo, can you put on that lingerie and wake up the next morning? I'm like, no, because I took my ass home last night. Like, I'm not going to do that. But there are things that I've done on the show that I did that I fully had to just own up to and say, look, and I got through it, So it's like conflict resolution, that whole thing. So
But the whole experience was a good experience, you would say?
Yeah, absolutely, because I stayed focused for the most part. And honestly, when I started to lose focus is when I knew I had to separate myself, and that is why I moved to LA.
So you think that there could be a possible works of another TV show?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I love television, like as long as it's the truth, and I know that things have to be like produced and stuff, but I am me. I'm transparent, and I like it. Like, I have fun with it, and especially with my shop now, like just that feeling that we all got when we got greenlit in Chicago, because we all deserved it. All the artists in my shop now deserve it. Like, I would love for them to have that opportunity because they bust their ass and their work is amazing and the shop is beautiful and our vibe is great. So I would totally
It is a show. I watch you on like Facebook Live, Instagram Live, whatever I see you.
Yeah.
But you're always having shots with your friends, and
Oh, yeah, we
at
party.
the end of the night, you guys are talking about what you guys have done. Mm-hmm. But it's like a big family.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why did you move to LA?
I moved to LA because I felt like I had hit a ceiling in Chicago, and I felt like my work was becoming stagnant. I felt myself traveling down the wrong path. Like, I cut my hair off. I dyed it bleach blonde. It started falling out. Thank you. I was fighting. I was drinking way more heavily than I normally do. And I'm already a drinker, but I was just spiraling out of control. So, I was just like, I got to get away from this. So my whole team was in LA, my manager, my publicist, and I had been coming to LA for like different opportunities to tattoo different athletes and stuff, or Grammy weekend and all this stuff. So I'm like, LA looks like more opportunity, like I can take, my career bigger. So I moved to LA. I was still on the show, and they followed me, moved to LA on the show. But the show's focus wasn't this girl's journey of a success story or trying to open up her own business in LA. The show's story for me was she moves to LA, she fails, and now she needs 9 Mag. That's the story they wanted to tell.
That was not the real story.
Exactly. But like,
even I know that.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched the show, but
I haven't.
Your studio that I was tattooing in, they made it look like you guys doubled the rent on me and I couldn't afford it and I had to go back to Chicago. Yeah.
That kicked you out?
Well, the landlord. I'm like, what? That was the story
That's
that they
the
wanted to
storyline they came up
tell.
with?
That's
I probably should have watched it.
but that's what they wanted to tell. So they followed me, moved to LA, but they wanted to tell that she didn't make it, and now she has to run back to Chicago, and she needs 9mag. And I was like, I'm building a brand in real life, and at this point, this show can tarnish me more than it can help me. So that's when I had to walk away from the show with all the other nonsense that was going on.
Wow, so was that turning point where they made you fail on camera, so everybody thinks you're a failure now? And
no, they don't think that. People saw right through the BS.
Oh, so they saw right through that.
Like all the comments.
I feel bad now because, you know.
No, it's cool. But literally, I'm so grateful because one thing I've learned about TV is that it is 5-year-old simple and people do believe what they see. But I am so lucky that people saw right through that. And when I really opened up my shop, people really saw, dang, she's finally doing it. Like, she's really doing it. And they continue to follow me. So I just got lucky, like blessed,
you know? Lucky.
Got super lucky. And then for season 4, because I was still on the show, I filmed all season 3. Season 4, I was still on it, even though I was in LA. The first scene that they tried to get me to film, they didn't want to film me in LA. They bought me a plane ticket to Chicago. They told me I could film with my family or whatever. They tried to get me to walk in to the shop that I was banned from and just cause hell. That was the first scene. I was like, you guys got me fucked up. And that was when it was over for me. I'm like, all right, this TV opportunity is over for me. What's next?
And do they want to release you from the contract, or do you have to fight?
We can talk about that off camera.
Oh,
I'll tell you all about it.
Are we allowed to go into this or what?
Yeah.
So you're completely open. So what is your dating life like? You know, you're 18. You're obviously heartbroken, I'm assuming, because you obviously left. You wanted to follow your dreams, your passion. Mm-hmm. Your dating life was like what?
Yeah, I have to say, I guess I'm a little bit of a hopeless romantic because, I was in love in college and then, had relationships since then. And I dated on the show. Everybody got to see that go to shit.
Was it a male, female? What was that?
Yeah, I'm into men. I kissed a girl, not my thing. But yeah, I've been in relationships. And like when I'm in a relationship, like I fall pretty hard. I'm like super invested. I'm not as focused on my work. So I was actually in a relationship right before I opened up my shop. And that ended like just abruptly. And since then... Somebody
I knew or somebody different?
Yeah, this guy. You might know him.
Oh, was that guy?
Huh?
It was Zach.
Yeah, that was my last relationship.
Oh, okay. 'Cause he told me something different. He said that you were seeing somebody else.
No, that was my last relationship.
And the guy kept on coming back in the picture, and that's why it didn't work out. That's what he told me.
No, that's completely false. I don't know where.
I mean, not that I really go into it. But I'm just saying because obviously you're a friend of mine, so I didn't want it to affect mine and your relationship.
Yeah.
So I always kind of stayed out of it. Which is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, that had nothing to do with our breakup at all. But yeah, since that relationship ended, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like I have no idea what he would be talking about, but whatever.
There was some guy that kept on hitting you on your DMs or something and some guy that you hooked up with on the show and he found out later on or something I don't know, something to that effect I heard. Because, obviously I'm friends with both you guys.
Yeah, so. No, that had nothing to do with our breakup. We broke up like for some whole other shit. Like whole other shit. I'll tell you all about that. But since then, like just because after that, my shop opened and I'm 27 this year. And I feel like this past year, like I'm really coming into like my womanhood, So I don't know if it's like a young girl thing or like a young woman thing where we always feel like we need to be in a relationship or have someone or be loved by someone. But like this past year of being single has been the most liberated year of my life, And I'm finally just having fun, like seeing how many options are out there and just like it's so much fun, you know what I mean? And I'm more focused on my work than ever. So I'm having a blast right now. I'm dating, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do and it feels so good.
So a couple guys?
Not really.
Just one?
No,
but just not
I'm not seeing anyone special. I'm just having fun. Like but I'm super single right now, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going on dates here and there.
What's that even like? I mean, because you weren't even the dating type. You always kind of hopped into relationships.
Right.
Well,
so that's what I'm learning. Because like women try to trap guys, but guys try to trap women too, you know? And now I'm starting to realize I got to be careful too, you know, because every guy that I date, you know, we just kind of meet each other and they're already talking about like relationships. And that's like a red flag to me. You know, especially, yeah, for me, because, I don't know, just like you said, like I'm somewhat like a kind of a public figure or whatever, like guys just, you have to watch out for people's motives. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I'm not so quick to jump into a relationship because, you know, somebody might want to be with me for the wrong reasons because I have my stuff going on. You know what I mean? So I'm just not really looking to hop into a relationship with anyone right now unless, you know, you can tell it's like genuine.
And that's hard to tell these
days. Very, very.
Do you have a type?
You know, I'm learning my type. I've dated like so many just wrong guys in the past, but now I'm learning what I like in a man. Like, I like to be wined and dined. I like a gentleman. I don't like playing any games. I don't tolerate any forms of abuse or disrespect. I like a man that's super, super confident. Like, you know, he could have nothing, but he has like the confidence and, you know, and I like someone that can see me for me. And I like him tall, dark, and handsome. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
what was probably your favorite relationship you've ever been in, and would you ever go back to that?
None of them.
None of them.
None of them. I don't have any exes that I'm still friends with. I don't have any exes that I
You're not cool
respect.
with anybody? Just what did they do wrong, or was it you?
No, it's never me. Hello.
Of course.
I don't know. It's like when I'm a Taurus. Like, I'll be so loyal, so involved, but once I'm over it, like, I'm done. You know, like once you cross me, it's over. Like,
what is that? The sign of the bull?
Yep. Yeah, but I'm literally
around.
like not friends with any of my exes. You know.
Not even Zach. Zach's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's cool, but no, I just don't. There's no need for it.
We leave it at that. Like,
huh?
we're just like, whoa, shit.
Yeah,
Do not mess with her.
There's guys that I've dated, you know, that wasn't in a full blown relationship with that I'm still friends with. But as far as like relationships that like ended, you know what I mean? Like,
we got to switch this conversation up. In your experience, what are some of the biggest issues you've had with guys?
Okay, so I don't know. Every relationship was like so extremely different, ended for such different reasons, you know? Yeah.
Was it for them
honestly,
fame? Like they wanted to be famous because they're around you? Or is it they're just really into you because you're super hot? Or is it because, you know, you're a famous tattoo artist? What is the reason that you see, and can you see past that?
You know, I don't think that. I don't.
Come on, let's be honest here. We're going to be honest here. Let's talk about it.
With dating now, I'm just very, very selective. I'm very selective. You know, I try not to date guys that have less than me, you know, or that I could potentially be a come up. I try to date people who have their own thing going on just as much as I have my own thing going on. But in the past, like, every relationship that I've been in ended for a different reason. But I think, because I see the bigger picture and everything, and literally every single time I've gotten out of a relationship, I progressed to the next level of my life. It's like you graduated. Like after college, I got out of that relationship, but had I stayed in it, I would have stayed there and, you know, lived his life, you know, for him. But I didn't. That ended, and then I became a full-time tattoo artist, you know? And then even with this past relationship, like, my relationship was my priority, you know? And then that ended, and then my business became my priority. And then my tattoo shop, you know, is becoming successful, and the artists are working there. So it's like, I think that timing has a lot to do with it. And I honestly feel like I'm supposed to be single for a while, like, and just enjoy this, and whether it's a couple years or whenever somebody will come along. But I don't really blame the person or say, oh, this person did that and this is why. I really think that it's just the circumstances and how life works. You know, everything happens for a reason. Yeah.
It helps you grow.
Yeah.
You know, you being a strong female, obviously kind of like a tomboy since you grew up with brothers, would you feel like you were ever part of any kind of abuse, whether it's just physical, mental, whatever, you know? I mean, and what would you say to a person that's dated and, you know, and staying into a relationship like that?
Yeah.
And does that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I never, ever once thought that I would be in an abusive relationship. I didn't grow up around abuse other than fighting my brothers. We used to fight. but it's not, you know, I didn't grow up with like my mom being like abused or my dad abusing anyone. So, in 2013, 2014, I was in an abusive relationship, and that came like out of nowhere, you know? And the first time that it happened, I was so shocked and so taken back by it. And I started thinking like what I could have done wrong to prevent this. And I told my mom about it, but I didn't tell her everything. I just told her a little bit. And she's like, you better not go back. She's like, because if you do, it's going to happen again. And sure enough, I went back, and it happened within like 2 weeks. So from there, like I just...
Was that mental or is that physical?
It was physical.
It was physical.
Yeah,
and
it was
you being
physical.
such a strong personality, you know, why didn't you just walk away? Or why don't you call your dad and say, hey, this is happening? Why don't you call your brothers?
Yeah, I'm not the type, like, I love my brothers to death. I love my father to death. They are strong, respectable men. And I was dating somebody who was about that life. So, like, I would never put my family in jeopardy because I'm dating someone that is senseless. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but your dad would have handled it.
Yeah, but I would never. I guess maybe because
you want to be protective of him, and you put yourself in that position.
I'm just as protective over my family too. You know what I mean? So I was very secretive about like my relationships, and I just always felt like I could handle things on my own. But after that second time, I got out. Like I got out of it, and.
But there's women going through that same exact thing.
Yeah.
And you being in there, you can be a little bit more sympathetic.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And what it's like, because it's kind of scary, right?
Yeah, it is. And two, I'm not going to lie, afterwards, like, it is good to talk to someone because for a while, I felt like a battered woman. Like, I felt like this affected me. Like, I couldn't date the same for a while. Like, it really, my outlook on men had kind of changed for a while, you know? So I handled it, but the best thing that I could do for healing, it was actually when I spoke up about it on the show, because I bottled it in. Like, it happened and I tried to throw it away, act like it never happened, and just put this smile on like I'm still this fearless woman, you know, but it was eating me inside. So I had the opportunity to finally, and I have to thank the producers for that because they pushed me to talk about it on the show. And I had never cried about it before. I never spoke about it, but once I started vocalizing what happened to me and like the tears started flowing out, and it was like releasing that. And I'm so thankful that I did, because so many women reached out to me afterwards like, I would have never thought that you went through what I'm going through, and you're so strong and you're so successful. I would have never thought that you're going through that. So I was so happy that I spoke about it, because it's like, okay, you can put it behind you. You don't have to be a victim. You know, you don't have to be like a battered woman. You can just get through it and really put it behind you instead of carrying that weight with you forever.
And what you've done now is you've bottled all that energy up and made it towards, you know, your passion to be successful. You have these markers in life that you can say that you've learned from, and you're also a teacher, so you actually fulfilled that dream at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you know, Kat, I just want to say thank you so much for coming here and speaking some kind words and things that, you know, can really relate to other people's lives. And I think it's really important that people see it from your perspective and being really open, because you are a public figure, and, you know, you're so sincere, and I think that people can learn from you. So,
Thank you.
if you like what you've heard here today, please subscribe to our Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Thanks for listening.